Chairman, Paul Penn, 2781 Cherokee Lane. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I rise in opposition to this change in the rules for a couple of very simple reasons, basic reasons. Obviously, we're in an economic downturn right now. Why we will be considering looking at spending money on privately owned roads rather than taking care of the county roads is just totally beyond me. And as Ms. Jones has stated, I know one of Mr. Henry's goals in this campaign last year that he stated as a goal was to improve and enhance county roads. Mr. Chairman, these are not county roads that we're talking about. They may be public roads, but they're not county roads. There's a difference. And county money should be spent on county roads. I recall just over a year ago when there was a conversation when there was going on about the zoning change out on Salt Creek there, where the residents back in Handy Lane and Yana, or whatever the name of that road, and those roads back in there, asked about getting some help on their roads, and the answer was they're not county roads. They're not county roads. We can't help on that. Our current, the current rules that you're attempting to change do offer certain limited assistance in these roads, and it's spelled out. They were like that for a reason, where we can help, spread some gravel, do things like that, and give some support in that area. But when you look at the study that came out in May from the University of Wyoming, that was done through them, and you look at out of our paved roads in the county, in Natrona County, we have 13% that are in poor condition, 78% in very poor condition. 91% of the roads, the paved roads in this county, are either in poor or very poor condition. So much so that it has been mentioned more than once by this board that the consideration has been given to tearing up these paved roads and making them gravel, or so that it would be easier and less expensive to maintain, because we don't have the money to do that. Mr. Chairman, it really boils down to, I mean, we can go through a lot of different things in here. But what it boils down to is you have people out in these smaller little areas that they may not have a service district established. These trailer courts off of Salt Creek there, and the roads are horrendous. You can lose a garbage truck or something holes out there. But the county is unable to, it doesn't even go in there with a blade to help them out at all. What you're going to do here is you're going to help people that have the ability to come up with some matching funds. These people in these poor districts are not, they're not going to have that. They're not going to have to do that. So what you're doing is you're helping the people that need it the least, is who you're helping the most. If I may just conclude, Mr. Chairman, I know the buzzer went off. Please do. Okay, thank you. Just in conclusion, here we are sitting. I say we're in an economic downturn. Just as a brief recap here, we're in an economic downturn. Our revenues are low. I just cannot see that when 91% of our county roads, our paved county roads, are in poor or very poor condition, that we should be even considering at this time, at this point in time, to be setting money aside to be used on privately owned roads. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Pack? Individuals who wish to speak in opposition of the notice of intent to adopt rules governing county support for service districts, please approach the lectern.
Judy Jones, 335 North 8 Mile. I just got a quick question. How many people need to be involved before you can form a service district? Is there a minimum or a maximum? I didn't see that anywhere in that paper.
I think it's 60%.
Yeah, but 60% of what? Say like a road has 5 people that live on it. So you gotta have 4 of them go along with this to it.
And each one has its own criteria, and Heather may know more about this.
About 3 out of 5 would be 60%.
Okay. Secondly, what would prevent someone who has, say, 2 people that live on that road and they're kind of well off, they've got a little money themselves, and both of them want to have the county help foot half the bill for that road for themselves, private road. What provisions are going to be in place to make sure that these 10 roads, this $250,000 going to cover 10 roads at $25 and $25 a pop, right? I mean, 10 of them. What's gonna keep private people from doing it for themselves? What's in place for that? I didn't see anything in there that says, hey, if you're, it's your private road, and there's only one or two of you on it, and you guys are coughing up after your money, then you're excluding somebody else for them. How are you gonna prioritize that to where it's not just the rich getting their private roads done?
At the current time, it's first come, first served.
Gee, that answers everything, doesn't it? I mean, that's
But
the very point of why I'm here tonight to object to this.
it's still up to this board to approve it. And if-
Well, you know,
if it
you
doesn't
guys
make
aren't real
sense-
trustworthy these days.
and if
I
it
mean, the
doesn't-
last 10 years, you guys have done a lot of things. And I think it's time you guys get back on the straight and narrow here. And that doesn't sound like straight and narrow. To me, that sounds like you're being special interest. And that's my opinion on it. Thank you.
Are there any other, others who wish to speak in opposition to the notice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Just for clarification, I don't see anywhere in the rules where it's discussing that this is the 1 cent funds only. In section 5, it discusses the administration. It says funds, Board of County Commissioners may budget funds when available, but nowhere does it say that you're talking about the 1 cent funds specifically. And then secondly, your neighborhood roads comment, Mr. Henry, and Commissioner Henry, I would say there's multiple county designated roads that service neighborhoods that could be considered, that need maintained at this point, that would be considered doing the work that you discussed for neighborhood roads. I don't think that you necessarily have to go right into the middle of a neighborhood to consider improving a neighborhood road. I think you can do it within your existing county designated roads and still be meeting that edict from the voters to improve neighborhood roads. So my main question though is, where does it state in these rules that we're simply discussing the 1 cent funds versus the entire county road budget?
It does not say that in these rules.
That's
So that's an implied thought that you would use those when funds available in that section, that would be 1 cent funds. So based on the next election, that if the next commission was sitting here before us, whoever that may be, they could use entire road and bridge funds to fund this, not just 1 cent. Since it's apparent the 5 of you feel it should be just 1 cent funds. By passing these rules, unless they go back and redraw these rules to specify it's 1 cent only, the next board can certainly make it all road and bridge funds go towards this program.
Got a nice big fat loophole.
Which I don't think it's necessarily the edict of the voters for the 1 cent funding, so that's why I think these rules are falling short. That goes to my second point, there are plenty of county roads that service neighborhoods that are in need of improvement. So I appreciate you listening to my comments.
So,
I'll have an amendment to it.
okay. And I'm just looking where that would plug in.
Number
Plug
3, section 3.
Or under the, well, okay, yeah.
It's a financial support from 1 cent funds if available to improve other roads.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
And
Yes, sir.
and this was what didn't get on the air when I had my comments with Channel 13, is yes, the county owns these roads. They are dedicated to public use. However, within those plats, it specifically says on the majority of those plats, the county is not responsible for the maintenance. So this is an attempt to, as Rob said, kickstart those neighborhoods to get some of those roads into a shape where they can get up and down.
And that would go right back to my opposition of this.
Yep.
The plat it specifically says, as you just quoted, these are not to be maintained by the county, and now you're trying to change what that plat says to a different rule to say, now we'll help you maintain those. And me as a landowner, as somebody that purchases a property, I know what I'm getting into, and I know whether I'll be responsible for maintaining those roads, whether I'll be responsible to participate in a special service district, and I'll be assessed a mill levy of some kind to help maintain those roads. As the purchaser of a property, I know what I'm getting into going in. And then if I buy it and suddenly don't like it, now the county is supposed to bail me out. It all comes back to my opposition to this. The county has plenty, I forgot to bring the numbers, but they have 900, 1,100 miles of road in Natrona County. And a lot of those, as has been discussed earlier in the evening, are in poor to less than poor condition. And yet you're willing to go out and spend money on other roads outside of the number of miles you already have. Let's stick with the first set of roads you have before you start to expand the number of roads you're willing to take care of. So that's my concern, as it has been all evening. I thank you for clarifying and offering to listen to the amendment about designated as 1 cent only, but I still think there's plenty of neighborhood county designated roads that are servicing neighborhoods that could use a lot of work before you start to expand the number of miles of roads you have in the county. Thank you. Any
Amen.
further questions?
For the final time,